Hello everyone, this is Scribe, the Leader of Method, and in this video we're going to be looking at the very first mythic Azshara kill. I'll be commenting through the whole video and stopping at certain places and going more in depth. The video is brought to you by Wowhead as usual. They're our sponsor and make these videos possible, so thank you Wowhead. So let's start. But before I even play the fight, I'm going to explain what's going on here with the wards, okay? Because we played this fight on Heroic, most of us, and we didn't really know what exactly was going on. What we know is the boss drains each ward, and we can go and do the anti-drain kinda. And if it's in the middle, it empowers the ward, and we can go deplete it. But what happens in the background is each ward has a certain amount of power. Right now, I'm not showing the amount of power here. I'm showing the stacks, and these stacks. With the stacks, we're counting like one drained soul stack on a player. So each ward has, I think, around 2000 power or 1500, I'm not sure. But the main important thing is that each ward has 66.7 stacks. The 0.7 is going to become very important, as I'll explain why. But the main thing is that if you would put 67 stacks into a ward, it would be fully healed for sure. If it was 0 and 67 stacks went into it, then it will be fully healed. The way it works also is that you can only soak 1 stack per second as one player. So if 2 players go into a ward, they can still soak 1 stack per second. It will be 2 stacks per second because 2 players each can soak 1 stack. And the boss drains 1.1 stacks per second. Although I am actually confused on that a little bit. We can look at it in phase 2. It should be 1.1, I'm pretty sure, after the nerfs. It was 1.4 before, and then it went to 1.1. Yeah, that's correct. I'm about to tilt you very hard if you didn't notice. The problem is with the 1.1 and 1.7, the point X makes you drain more stacks than you need to, kinda. So let's assume this middle ward was empowered by the boss for 1 second, so the boss would empower it by 1.1 stacks. But now, if a player goes into it and tries to, make it go to 0, then he will have to take 2 stacks. So the game always rounds up. So if there's 1.3 stacks, it's 2 stacks. If there's 1.00001 stacks, which never happens, but let's assume it did, it would be 2 stacks. It just has to round up always. This means you can oversoak a ward. So let's give an example. The boss stays in the middle because we're, let's say, gonna AoE the ads soon, which will happen for real. And we send players to soak it. If the players don't take turns, let's say, and go together, if 2 players go at once, and this is, let's say, right now at 1 stacks or 1.1 stacks or whatever, and the boss gives it every second 1.1 stacks, each player every time is going to receive 1 stack. Even though the boss only puts 1.1 stack per second, they're going to get 2 stacks. And if you keep this bad soaking up like this, you will eventually run out of stacks that you can give to the wards. So what you need to do is have the players enter after each other, or they need to monitor the stacks that it never goes to 0 kinda, or 0. Whatever, or 1 point whatever if you're soaking with 2 people. So always, we call it over soaking, so you never want to over soak a ward. Therefore, it is very, very important to have exact timings where people enter. We had a VCAR assisting us that I'll show later for this. But yeah, I think we can start with the fight. The rest I can kind of explain on the go. And here we start the pull. I'm gonna continue to play. Okay, so this is kind of like Heroic, right? There's pretty much no difference in phase 1. The only thing is the bosses hit harder. The phase takes longer, so there will be more pools on the ground. So you gotta kind of plan out where the pools are gonna be. And what was last thing? Oh, the laser, of course. Divide and conquer, you see it on the Big Fix timer. So what I do here, you see I don't use any CDs. I keep everything for this ad because there is no DPS check in this phase really. You will always make the DPS check here, kinda. So I'm combusting this ad. Keep in mind, I'm keeping my berserking because 3 minutes will be ready a little bit later in phase 2. and I want to use my combustion instantly, so you keep berserking, you keep 3 minutes ideally, if you want to line them up with 2 minutes, because phase 2 DPS check will be hard. But yeah, what happens here, you see the boss drains. This is the same as heroic. We had I think 5 players soaking each 3 to 4 stacks. If you were also assigned to soaking an orb, you soak 3 stacks, also take 4. And here, the first orbs you can easily soak after the laser, even if you don't have blink. But if you do, it's great to just blink and assign warlocks and mages to this job. The beacons already happened, I think, but they're gonna happen soon again. They will always run to this spot where my fire blasts are and where my mouse is. So you kind of want to put a gateway. You either want to put a gateway or you want to just stay away from it. But gateway is kind of easy. And you should have a gateway for each combination of lasers. So the lasers can go either from here. Oh, you see it here. My mouse was actually going to be a bit wrong. So it's either going to be here where the mouse is, or it's going to be this way. So what we have is a gateway here going away and a gateway there going away. And if you're on this side of the room, then you gotta, check yourself. That if you're at Skull, you either play good or you die. Playing good would be as soon as you get tired by the beacon, you run away here. I think Big Vix has a warning now on the default. If you get targeted, you get a boss whisper, and you can also easily make it into a Vikara, checking boss whispers. So yeah, beacons handled by gateway or running away. The second ad, I'm sure you guys already know from Heroic. This is, by the way, I'm not going to talk too much into every single mechanic because you guys know from Heroic, yeah. So again, they use one stun. Actually, what we did was pray in a week, like the stun from the rogues was kind of weird. So we always did the normal Hodge first into a kidney shot, which gave us sometimes 2 extra seconds. And also got the prey on the weak on the ad. That's kind of nice to have a rogue. So yeah, we're fully focusing the rogue. And you see the bosses are quite low. And this is the reason why there's no DPS check here. So there's Arcane Orbs coming up. And you can't face the boss, or you don't want to face the boss when Arcane Orbs are up, because you will be soaking, taking damage, and the next Arcane Orbs are going to spawn. And you won't even be able to gather up other gathering up play position, which is quite important, which I'll speak about later. So you don't want to push them here. So you want to just focus the ad down, because this one's going to spawn. It's kind of hard to skip this DPS check. Although maybe soon in a few weeks we can. And then we kind of chill out here. Like we stop on ethanol completely. We equalize HP, and then you will see me DPS dropping probably, which I... Oh, okay, we want to skip the spear. Alright, so we kind of rush it because it's kind of bad timing, and you will definitely see us kind of struggling to stack up here because the spear came right as the orbs came. So I had to make a call to either take the spear damage while soaking and do it slowly kinda, and then the beacon is gonna come close up after, but that isn't really that important, the beacon, I guess, especially if you have priests in the group. But the main thing is that you want to skip the spear if you can. And the way the spear works nowadays is you can kill them up even after the spear is thrown, and he will still cancel the damage. Like, you have time until the spear legit explodes. You have time to kill this ad, and then it will do no damage. What you definitely don't want to do is 8th NL. If you kill 8th NL only, and the spear goes through, and you don't kill Cyrannus in time, the spear is going to be enraged, and you're going to 100% die. It's a 100% wipe. So you want to always kill Cyrannus first, kinda, unless the spear is already shot and there's 10 seconds in between or something. And then you want to kill Ethanol right after. Here, what you can also do is just give an easy pain suppression to the tank, which I spotted later that we were not really using, because Sko, who's tanking Ethanol, is gonna take big hits possibly, and can easily die because of that, because he will be enraged and shooting ice shards into him. So yeah, this is like a crucial part in the fight. This is where everyone should shut up. You should equalize the boss healths, soak, see if you can or should avoid the spear damage by killing Cyrannus, or if you want to just take it and heal through it and then face the boss. But yeah, and their tanks should have a Vikara that shows that the other boss is dying and that they should start running. And it could be like if the boss goes under 0.3%, it gives them a warning or something. Or they can obviously look at their boss frames, but yeah. So let's see how we played it here. So I see the spear coming, and I'm like, there's no point delaying it. I'd rather skip the spear damage. One bad thing here, a person did not soak circle. You see, I'll be going there because somebody's slacking. I don't know who. I think it's Kurisu actually. I know who now. I don't know why he didn't make. Maybe he had a legit reason, but yeah. So I see the spear damage. Spear is coming. I'm like, just kill it before it lands, which we do. Then you see this run VKRS for Sko. I also had it, so I see if they're doing it fine. And Sko might take a big hit here, but no, it died in time before it cast came through. And we face the boss here. The laser's still up, but it's gonna end in time, no worries. And this means this, and you're gonna see exactly what I meant. Like, you don't want to have these Arcane Orbs up when we play this, because first of all, you want to be all stacked. That's kind of the easy strat. You can do it in other ways, but trust me, you want to just be all stacked at one point. And then an orb cannot land on top of another orb. So because an orb was up here, the boss is gonna now cast a random orb somewhere else. That is very, very bad, because then you cannot play according to an algorithm. It will be random. So I want to explain how the intermission works, because on heroic, you don't really care about this at all. So I'm gonna go a little bit back. The boss will always cast an Arcane Orb on this screen here where my mouse is, then one here, and one here. This is marked, and these two are not marked because we ran kind of out of word markers, and I wanted to have it on last phase. I wanted to put them on this place, and there's one behind this pillar here because they're required in last phase. And yeah, these three positions are gonna have an orb. This position is gonna have an orb, and this one as well. The skull one is in theory random, but the boss always puts an orb next to the players where they stack. There's also positions, and he finds the closest position to the players. And since we're gonna stack on blue, there's gonna be one on skull. And then lastly, there's gonna be one orb over here on star. And what we do in the intermission is, there's always the same amount of, or the same combination of debuffs. The players that gets them are random, but the amount of like the debuff combinations are gonna be always same. So always a person in the raid, for example, is gonna have root and standalone, or stay and standalone. And then one person is always gonna have stack and soak, you know. And right now, let me think. I'm not sure if I know all the combinations. So there's 3 solo and soaks. There is 2, 4, 4 stack and soaks. There is 2 stack and don't soaks. There is there's 2 stay and stacks. There is 1 stay and solo, and there is 3 run and stacks, and lastly I think there's 3 or 4, I'm not sure, solo and runs, run and solos, whatever. So why am I like counting up all of this? You definitely need a VKRF for this intermission, because you don't want to YOLO this. You want to assign to these 3 orbs over here solo and soaks. 1 here, 1 here, 1 here. You can go by raid ID, that's the simplest way. Then you want to have on star, which is what we did, go 2 stack and soaks, go over there, and 2 stack and soaks go to circle. You can again take the first 2 and send them to star, the next 2 from the raid frames, raid IDs you can send to circle. Then you want to have the stack and runs, which is what we did. We just had them run around the star marker, which is this pathing here, and you always tell them to go clockwise, for example. You can also say counterclockwise, but just go clockwise, whatever. That's what we did, so there must be a good reason for it. And then lastly, the stay and lone wolves, the stay and spreads, I guess, the stay and the lones, they go to skull and moon. And since you're stacked on blue, you will be able to reach out without leaving your circle and still be able to soak them. It is advisable that these 2 players also delay their explosion, because they don't really have to soak, so they can stand out a little bit without soaking. So they can go to where my mouse is to moon, soak a little bit, or well, one goes to skull, one goes to moon, and then get out, because every time an orb is fully soaked, it will explode and do explode and do rate damage. If you're 3 healing, it should be an issue actually. But so yeah, a lot of people should be 3 healing at this point. So yeah, but yeah, you can go there, get out, wait a bit until all other orbs are exploded and you are filled up a bit, and then go back in again, finish soaking, and then you're done. You need to be very careful with your circle that you don't step outside, don't get stacks. That's very bad. Okay, so that's kind of the intermission. I don't think I forgot anything. I know it took a bit long, but that is it, I think. So let's keep moving. We fucked up. Circle was up. Like these two were almost. This was also up. So it's very, very bad. This will explode now. Attack. And I should have been on blue. I wasn't. And it's kind of messy. You can hear us on voice chats also saying like, oh, how did we survive this? But we kind of were lucky and kind of made it through. I don't know, maybe one person dies, not sure. Wouldn't be surprised, but never mind. Insane healing, we made it through. Maris probably procced his staff or something. And okay, so don't copy what we did here. This was very bad. Just do what I explained instead, because there were random orbs everywhere. So phase 2 starts. Boss is gonna become active. And one big difference to heroic is on heroic, if you empower the middle, the boss is gonna empower it more than the other wards. On Mythic, it doesn't matter if you empower middle or here. You're gonna get the same amount of 1.1 stacks per second, whatever you empower. So what we do, just drag the boss on top of the middle. Or I think we should do that, I'm not sure. I don't remember anymore. And also you have the active timer of the boss. That's when he starts taking damage, but you can pre-dot him. But this is where the DPS check for phase 2 starts, and this DPS check is important. You want to burn the least amount of potions that you can and still make this if possible. We were still potting with everything, but we were quite undergeared, so. And here the rotation for soaking already starts. You see, we should never have this at 0. If we do, until the very end. If we do, then it's very bad. Ads are coming. What we did here is I always try to Flame's Breath. And you see, this Flame's Breath is quite important actually. And I kind of figured it out a bit late. I only Flame's Breath with an angle, only those that are gonna cast. This way everything else is still gonna walk in, and then Sko can stun a few seconds later. And you see this guy's get Flame's Breath, and they walked in a bit later, so we got a few more DPS out. That's a good thing you can do. What we did after the stuns was a Warlock stun attack, and then Josh targeted me with his knock from the priest, and I stood here in a good angle. And here you also want to stay at an angle where you hit the highest adds to the boss. The low HP adds where they fly doesn't really matter, just make them fly. And that's what I do, and then we get the Arcane Burst, and we hide with the Arcane Burst here and have the Warlock Imps, which should be standing over here, dispel us from there. This way nobody gets damaged aside from the person that holds the bomb. So Maris goes, then I go. This is also a quick, easy Vikora going by raid ID. Put the healers last because they can dispel themselves, and that's pretty much it. And make sure when you do these raid ID Vikoras, if the players are going by raid frames and don't have an add-on that blows a raid frame or something, that you pass the leader to the tank or something that can't get the Arcane Burst, which I did, for example, here. At the very end, only Servo should stay behind here and finish the soaking. And this should only go once to 0. So here we're over soaking, but it doesn't really matter. We had some free room. But yeah, we definitely over soaking there. And now we're done. Nobody can soak it anymore. Servo is only at 4 stacks even, so completely fine. So now the console soaking rotation starts. I'm the last guy, so you will see how the Vikora looks from me. Here the runes are reversing. It doesn't matter if you do it correctly, even if it takes the console as reversal. On Heroic it's kind of confusing always, but since you don't empower the purple one more, it doesn't matter. Just stick to your timing. The resetting should work like this, that you, at the stacks, when you go here and the bombs are exploding, you should reset once at some point, and then you don't reset until the Arcane Detonation. So I reset it once, and that's it. The bomb also refreshes the debuff duration, by the way, so check out for that. If the bomb is spawn. Reset it once, reblasting again. Min-max DPS, you don't bother resetting unless it's a DPS gain somehow, which isn't. And then we're hiding again, so you will automatically reset. And then we had a timer also when we want to face the boss. This timer is, so you skip this ad here. you want to phase it with like 7.5 seconds left in the duration. Phasing it means bringing it to 70.5%. And these arcane bursts you can skip if you really overkill it, but you don't want to really. You want to save that DPS for last phase. So if you're burning potions or bloodlust, don't do that. Just skip this. And you see, right as we phase, so I need to soak. I go in a bit late always because I want to top off the stacks, because sometimes people go in late and don't manage in time. But there's arcane bombs happening here. And this is a very good mage job, by the way, because you can blink into the stacking point after soaking. But they dispel. The degrees are going to come soon. We face that we didn't get an ad, and I'm in position and we do the intermission. This is now the exact same as the first intermission. The only difference is middle might have some stacks if you played bad, which you shouldn't. The last mage, my job was also covering for middle if middle had any stacks left over because of a reversal or something. And aside from that, it's same as first intermission. The only difference is that the boss is up and you can DPS it. We just go soak the same things. You see my marker is a blink there, and keep just blasting the boss. There's nothing else to do. That is until phase 2. Good. We're almost halfway through. So phase 3, the difference is that we have another third ad, obviously. You probably saw it on some videos. You want to kill all ads. You can't just skip them like on heroic because they enrage after 3 minutes and just blast the wards, and you need that ward health. Maybe eventually you just blast boss, but yeah, not right now. And we will always kill the console ad first because that's what we figured is the easiest for us. There are other strats available, but I'll just stick to this. It's making things way more complicated. I wouldn't multi-dot any side really. It's making things also more complicated. Just stick to this. So you have an active time of fear for the ad. This is where you challenge your trinkets, and you want to burn this ad very, very fast, okay? So we're using like pretty much all 2 minutes here, apart from Narcolis and Perfecto, and just burning this kit down. This is also great for ignite spreading. Sadly, our tanks are keeping the boss away for some reason, and the ignite does not spread. This is a thing in method that we do. I don't know why, but one important part here is the beckons, guys. Now, this you just gotta kind of learn with practice, okay? Just keep the boss positioning always the same, and you will know where the beckons go. So on the first wave, the beckons will go over here. That means the people with the debuff need to go over here. This laser decides if you kill the boss or not, pretty much, okay? So if the laser spawns on this side, it means you're gonna play this place last, which is very, very good. If the laser spawns on this side, then you're gonna play this bottom right side last, which is bad because you have less time there to push the boss, to push DPS, because the ad gains another shield later, and you would have to keep the Myrmidon alive to break that shield, which is, earlier he gets the shield, so you would have to keep the Myrmidon alive, which you can't, so you gotta blast the ad more, which means boss will phase at 46% instead of 40%, which is very bad. So we're praying right now that the the laser spawns here. If you watch the kill videos, there's people literally praying. So we're lucky the laser will spawn here, I'm pretty sure, unless we played it godlike. Okay, so it did spawn here. We're super lucky, we're happy, and we just continue blasting. And then we want to kill this before the shield. And you see where the boss is dragged also. The Arcane Detonation is going to come here, and this whole line to the ward is going to be line of sight. So yeah, we're killing this ad, finishing it off, and Arcane Detonation happening at the same time. This whole area is safe. You don't need to panic at all. The spears coming, breaking the shield. While breaking the shield, always line of sight. The shield break can be line of sight. The line of sighted. The spear itself, the damage, you cannot line of sight. But the shield break, you can. So a lot of people should be standing here. We're attacking the Myrmidon right now. As soon as the shield breaks, you want to instantly swap the Vena, which I do as well, and you ignore the Myrmidon. It doesn't matter. If you did enough damage on it, it's great. The bombs go to the side on the left and get dispelled. If we're continuing on Vena, reversal happens. Here, throughout this whole thing, right? After phase 2 starts, throughout this whole thing, you always have people with exact timings going and soaking, okay? So in theory, the console, I don't know, it shouldn't be max HP, but it is good already, kind of. But the middle, the purple one, should always go to 0 if you can, because unlike heroic, it doesn't give 1% damage per stack, it gives 3% damage per stack. So if this goes to 10 stacks, the boss will do 30% damage to the tanks, which is very, very bad. And it will do also more damage with arcane missiles, and the ads will do 1% damage per stack. So the Myrmidon Spear and stuff is going to hurt more as well. The first spear breaks the shield. The second spear is going to be empty while the bombs are also exploding. But the bombs need to watch their HP kinda, especially the last guy, me for example, might get hurt here. We're blasting the Vena. The spear is coming soon. This is an empty one, just aiming to circle. And we're going on Vena continuing. This going a bit higher, which is very bad. This should be always below 4% preferably, but sometimes beacons and stuff can get into the way of soaking. So yeah, kind of need to deal with that. And here we were kind of too slow. Ideally, you want to kill this ad before the shield spawns, okay? That would be the ideal situation, but we didn't make it. It's not the end of the world. We can take another spear and break it. So what we do, this ad should be gripped, but it wasn't here. It doesn't matter. It should be gripped into position here, so I can hit it here and not get hit by arcane missiles from the boss, which I just did here. So kind of dangerous for me, which is probably a cauterized proc. And you kind of really should kind of tell people to run away at some point before these laser spawn. So I kind of do it by feeling. After shield break, I wait 4 seconds and I tell people to run. And we pop a sprint totem and run across. You want to have some classes though stay behind and kill this ad off if you didn't make it in time. So for us, it was always mages, Jimmy, and maybe Perfecto staying behind to kill it, and then we ran over it last. Again, my job is going to be now, it's going to end, and I'm going to look, is there going to be something left over? So it reversal, something is left over. I'm not sure if I'm going to bother for 3 stacks. I sometimes do, sometimes don't. I don't know. Everyone else, what they do is as soon as they get over here, so now there's no check on the Serena guy at all. What we want to do is 2 spears per Myrmidon. Third spear you don't want to get. So what we do, full ham on Myrmidon, okay? Line of sight the shield break here. Spear goes on Viglund. He should go in. We all line of sighting the spear break. Nobody should get hit here apart from Viglund. He got hit. This is quite sketchy for him. And he gets good heals. Insta shield, perfect play. And we don't switch to Serena. And we go local Myrmidons again. And do another shield break after. Because this guy is capped at 100 energy and had a shield, he will cast 2 shields in a row. So we break another shield and people again line of sight while DPSing it. This is the second spear. Now we want to kill the Myrmidon before the third spear comes. The boss is casting Arcane Detonation. This should be announced by tanks always because they're only the ones fighting the boss and we're like kind of sitting here. And sometimes the healers or the multi-lotters might go out there to dot the boss or do something and they will... look here, I was like, maybe their damage is too high, I'll just go soak the middle. And soak the 3 other stacks from the left. I went to 6 stacks. But yeah, the Arcane Detonation is called by the tanks. And the third Myrmidon was, I probably saw that it is dying in time. Yeah, so you can even kill it after the spear shot, by the way, no worries. Also, one more thing, you can, in theory, if you want to min-max it, shoot the spear through the shield. Then the shield breaks instantly, and before the spear lands, you can kill the ad to avoid rate damage. But that is min-max and should only be done if it's like super lining up and it's really easy to do. And you're like, yep, just break the shield and kill this Myrmidon at the same time. Just don't kill it before the spear shoots. So here, the Myrmidon is up, and we wait. There's like some weird tank swap going on here, so we kind of have to wait. But as soon as the Myrmidon enters this, we're going to swap to the Myrmidon. And you see I swapped insta. I probably said it as well. And we're just going on him as much as we can. Serena damage really doesn't matter here. The cleave should be completely enough. Because we don't want to kill Serena too early, guys. Otherwise the boss will phase into last phase and we don't want that. So another shield comes up here. You break it with this spear. And this is the last spear that we're going to play. And the last shield we're going to play. Okay, so we kill the Myrmidon. And here we drag the boss on top of this. And now what we want to do is you're going to monitor the HP and the stage timer. So you want to kill the ad on the stage timer kind of, or a bit later is also fine. He can be enraged for a few seconds, doesn't really matter. But I see boss is already phasing, so what you want to do is reset your stacks once, which I should do here, and then run to the baiting position. You don't want to have the bait here, that is very bad. So yeah, you get into position and you won't reset here anymore, you just blast the boss. There is, again, people assigned what to soak. This is the most, like I cannot say this often enough. There is a person assigned, I think it's Maris, that is supposed to go to the middle and soak here. So Maris will probably go and soak the middle because this is very bad. 12% extra damage is very, very bad. Alright, we're all baiting here and we're just blasting the walls with everything we have, okay? Like this is just pure DPS from this point on. You just want to blast whenever you can. And we're going to have another nether portal in or not another, the first nether portal is in 6 seconds. It should spawn a portal here and a portal here, and we walked straight through. Sprint totem is also up. And this left wall, you don't really care. You want to have it above 30, I think, at the end. I'm not sure. I don't remember it exactly, but we can talk about it later. What also happened during the bait, or before the bait even, the overloads came and the timer started. You already saw there's 30 seconds left now. You bait, you go to the console, you reset your stacks once, and then you start pressing, okay? You don't want to wait too much, even though you might have time. If anyone dies now, it's completely their fault. They didn't reset his time. For example, Perfecto, 12 stacks, that's his fault. Narclis, his fault, you know? Easy. So I wait a bit, and then I tell Narco to press it actually. Oh, okay, Narco's bubbling, so it doesn't really matter. And you want to have a person with an immunity presses for sure, because he will get a 1 minute dot on him, or 10-minute dot actually on Mythic, and it will hurt a lot, so he has to do, you have to use immunities pretty much. Okay, so you've played the 3 things with this barrier, and again, you have a rotation going on to soak the console all the time. After the explosions, you have the piercing gases. You will get 4 red lasers. You want to call them out by 1, 2, 3, 4, so people know what they're coming. So we will get 1 here, the easy one, then 2. This is kind of hard to see the console one. Always look out for this one first. And then 3, also easy, and 4, also easy. Obviously, you guys already realized the laser is rotating and stuff, but this will really not influence us at all. With our strat, you won't care about this, okay? So we did this, and then after playing this, you want to reset once more before you go, after the lasers, and then you go bait, okay? You have 8 seconds. I could have reset in theory a bit later and then gone, doesn't really matter. So we're baiting here, and you want to have the boss drain the middle, by the way, during this. You want to have enough stacks so the boss can drain the middle. You bait the portal. At the same time, you saw Fabo got beckoned. You saw right next to me the heart icon. Right as we bait, someone's going to get beckoned. This is a pretty much sacrifice. He will most likely die. But what we can do is life grip him, spam life grip him, and keep him alive. Let's see if he will get a life grip. He did get one, but was very close to the boss. The priest should have been better positioned for this. And he gets another life grip, but it's too late. He got mind control, and we have to kill him. But it could have been avoided by life grips, and pretty much only life grips. It's like kind of hard if you don't life grip. Maybe a gateway could have been a way actually, but sometimes the bait can spawn even closer to the console, so yeah, not much you can do there. But if he dies, not the end of the world. Just keep blasting. Okay, so the swap back is gonna happen again, and then we're gonna drag the boss here. Until that, we just reset once, okay? We just reset once, wait for the boss to come. Boss comes, and you immediately heal the console, and you place a barrier from Ken, the second barrier. Or you can use a Diva Aura if you have double paladin, like just whatever you have. The 3-minute healing speed that you have for damage reduction. Okay, and this time you have much less time on the console, so you have to look out. You don't have that free room anymore. And after you press, you also don't have that much time for the red lasers. But this is the last thing you need to do, kinda. And here you want the melee soaking. That's why we drag the boss over here, by the way. This is time I will press it, and I see barriers down. We have time to reset, and I'm pressing 1, and I'm pressing 2, and I'm pressing 3. I'm ice blocking here, hopefully, and 4 I'll ice block. Okay, the reason, by the way, that I don't ice block, sometimes when you press something like ice block, I think during ice block you cannot press it, and then when you cancel ice block, it will not appear for a long time, the button to press it, okay? Ideally, press ice block afterwards. If you're dying, press before, and then press the thing. Okay, right after we press, the lasers are already coming. So this is a little bit, everything is faster paced here on the second one. The console is completely fine as you see, because we had all the melees go in. And the red laser number 1 coming. My camera is very bad here. So that's number 1. Number 2, kind of dangerous. Number 3. And number 4, and as you see, as the 4th laser is spawned, you instantly go bait, okay? Attack bait. You have a Vicar for this. And you just don't want one over there, because that's like your safe spot, because the laser is gonna come and stuff, and you wanna be at the safe spot. And this laser is coming, and then here you have the choice. If you're 3 healing, you need to play roughly a minute longer. If you're 2 healing, this is the end of the fight, the hardened rage. You just wanna blast the boss and then immune it, and then continue blasting. What the last thing to look at is the console health here. if it's not high enough, you might want to go empower the middle and just, you know, blast that way. But as you see, your console is completely fine. The 2 minutes are coming back up from the DPS here, so the boss will melt definitely. And reverse is gonna happen, but really doesn't matter. Boss is dying. If it, you know, if you're playing, you need to check before the reversal. Okay, before I finish this video, one more super important thing. Okay, reversal. How the hell does it work? Okay, because a lot of people don't know this. We go back to where we started. How does Sword Circling work, but with reversal? When the reversal happens, all 3 runes. Imagine all 3 runes going to the middle. And what you see on this thing here after the reversal, hang on the Suikara, is completely wrong. This is just, don't trust it at all. You need to look at the power. I mean, maybe there's a better Suikara nowadays, but you need to look at the power before the reversal is done. And the most important thing here is the lowest energy ward, which is the left one, okay? This middle one acts like, even on this thing here and on the Blizzard UI, it acts like it's the average of all 3 and they all merge and there's like a spirit link going on, spirit link effect going on, but it's not. Imagine 3 smaller wards inside this place, and the boss will drain not 1.1 stacks of each, but instead 1/3 of 1.1 of each, so roughly like 0.333 or something of each ward. And you can calculate all of this. You know, each reversal lasts 30 seconds. So if you would put it here, it would drain 11 stacks of each ward. So in theory, we could like drain this middle for 30 seconds and still survive and no problems. But yeah, that's the last bit of information, the reversal. And again, if let's say the left had 5 energy, after 1.1 divided by 3 and 5 divided by that, after that many seconds, it would collapse. Even though this would show it healthy, like the Blizzard UI will show it healthy, it will still be bad. Actually, even Blizzard UI is showing it wrong, I think. Like, I don't know, this is just scuff mechanic. Maybe it got fixed by now, but like this, what you see is a lie, okay? It's just the 3 smaller wards. And this is pretty much it. I mean, you can easily see here if you have the DPS check or not. Maybe you can decide to press it, but the problem with pressing it is every time you press, short circuit will happen on one of the 4 things. And that will take, I think, 30% off of ward, which is 22 stacks. Doesn't really, I remember it differently. I'm not sure if my math is right. Maybe it's 20%, maybe 25%. I'm not sure anymore. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, guys, about the boss in general, you can always ask me. You can link me your logs. Like I also do log reviews, even off stream, just whenever, just post me on Discord or something. And I'll try to help you guys out. Well, I'm not sure if you would enjoy this type of video, but I hope you at least got informed well. And I hope you can have an easy time on Queen Azshara. It's not going to be easy probably, but I hope you have fun at least, and it's going to be easier than before you watch this video. So thanks for watching, guys. If you liked the video, if you enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe and follow Method's YouTube channel. We do these boss commentary videos pretty much after every tier. And leave a comment if what you didn't like. Maybe I was too boring, maybe I talked a bit too much. Just hit me up with the comments what you think. I'll read through them all, hopefully. So have a good day, boys.